Okay, and welcome to 6.1 Part B. We have 3 example questions to get through to try out. The first example says Ben works as a carpenter and he makes $20.87 every hour. So I think it really does help when you see this like slash sign. If you use the words for every. You can even think for every hour or for 1 hour. So in 1 hour, Ben works. He gets $20.87. How much will he earn in a 40-hour work week? So 40 hours, by the way, if you work Monday through Friday, 8 hours a day, that's a regular work week. So, well, here's one way to set this up, and there's more than one way to do it. I'm going to say he makes $20, and I'm going to put the dollar symbol in there, $20.87. In how long? In 1 hour. So I'm going to set this up as a ratio. And so we're going to solve by using two ratios that are equal. Something that we've done many times in this course is going to be equal to, well, how much money is he going to make working 40 hours? So where are we going to put the 40? We'll put it on the bottom because the other one was on the bottom. That's why it's helpful to put the units. If you include the units like hours here and hours there, then you know to put the 40 on the bottom. On the top is the thing that we want to know, and that's going to represent how much money Ben will make if he works 40 hours. Okay, so now even at this point, there's a couple ways to go. One thing that you can do is you can say, hey, this is kind of an easy one. If I multiply this times 40, then I need to multiply that times 40 because that you kind of see the pattern. So you can just type in your calculator $20.87 times 40 and then you get the answer. Some of you, however, might like if it's not a nice friendly question like that, I'm just trying to erase the highlight there. Okay. I'll erase this other stuff so that we can see it again. The other one is using the cross multiply idea. So how do you cross multiply? You take this and this multiplied together, and you take this times this multiplied together. So usually I like to start with the one that doesn't have the x. So in this case it's the yellow one that's highlighted. So I'm going to put those together. I'm going to say I'm going to multiply $20.87 times 40 hours. And that's going to be equal to x times 1. So what is x times 1? Well, x times 1 is still just x. So it's actually pretty straightforward. You're going to multiply those two numbers together to get the answer. Using your calculator, and this is definitely a calculator question, 20.87 times 40 is $834.80. And I'll put a box around it so I see the answer. Okay, so another way that you can solve this one is if we just think that that our wage is going to be equal to our hourly wage times the number of hours. So in this case, it's going to be $20.87 for 1 hour. I'm trying to write hour H. We'll try this again here. H-O-U-R times the number of hours, in this case is 40 hours. So the one thing is I wrote down all those units in there because this 40 hours, if I think of it as a fraction, I can say it's over 1. How do you multiply fractions? You multiply top times top and bottom times bottom. The other thing that's kind of neat about doing this is that if you have a unit on the top and on the bottom, they cancel each other out. So the hours are actually going to cancel each other out. So you end up getting the 20.87 times 40. And you get the same answer. You get that $834.80. A lot of you will be looking at this and say, oh, Mr. Spicer, you're making it too complicated. If Ben makes $20.87 every hour, in 40 hours, you're just going to multiply times 40. And if that works for you, that's great. I thought I would show these two examples. Sometimes the questions get more complicated, so it's nice to have a method that always works. So number 2 says, Martha works as a window dresser in Victoria, BC. She charges $16.72 for every hour she works. If it takes 5 hours to finish a window at a local department store, how much will gross pay be for the job? She charges $16.72 for every hour, and it takes 5 hours. Okay, so I think that's a pretty similar one. Once you get through all the words here, you've got she makes $16.72 for every hour. So I'm going to put 1 hour over here. And if she's going to be working for 5 hours, so I'm going to put the 5 hours on the bottom, put an X on the top. And it's the same idea. We're going to do that cross-multiplying idea. So these two multiplied together are equal to those two multiplied together. And it's kind of an easy one because it's going to be 1672 times 5 is going to be equal to 1 times x. Whenever you have 1 times x, you could just write x. So the answer is going to be 1672 times 5, which I think is $83.50 when you put it in your calculator, or if you want to do that by hand. The other way you can think of it is just that was $16.72 for every hour times 5 hours. And you can see again you've got the hours on the top and hours on the bottom. They're going to cancel each other out. And you're going to get the same answer. You're going to get that $83.50. Okay, now example 3 is a little different. Notice that there's a bit of a twist. It says last week Chi worked 34 hours cutting lawns. His gross income was $329.12. What was his hourly wage? So it's different than the other ones. The other two tell you how many hours and the hourly wage, and we ended up just multiplying them together. So this might be an example where setting it up as a proportion might help. So worked 34 hours and gross income was $329. So if you think about the way we set it up before, the left side was the top left was the hourly wage, and then the bottom was 1 hour. So really in this question, we want to figure out what is the hourly wage. So that's going to be this part that we don't know, and that's how much money that they make in 1 hour. So that's what an hourly wage is. On the right hand side, at least what we did before, was how many hours the person worked altogether, or how much money they made altogether was on the top. So that would be $329.12. And how many hours? 34 hours. So do you see how it's really similar to before, except for our x is in a different spot? So our x is, in this case, the amount of money. I'll even put a little dollar symbol there. The amount of money that she makes every hour for 1 hour, and then on the right was how much that they made in 34 hours. So in this case, if we're doing our cross multiplying, so it's going to be, I think it's going to be a two-step one here, because there's not a 1 across from the x this time. So when we do this, okay, so usually I like to multiply the two that are not the x, like the two non-x numbers. So in this case it's blue. So $329.12 times 1, that's the blue part, is something times 1 is just itself. So I'll say 329.12 is equal to x times 34. So how do we write x times 34? It's 34x. Okay, and then the second step is to divide both sides by that 34. So I'm going to divide both sides by 34 like this. Okay, for some of you, you might just like some students like to do this all in one step, and they say the two numbers across from each other you multiply, and the number across from the x you divide. So that's really what happens here, is the 1 times 329 divided by 34. So on the right hand side we're just going to get x, and on the left hand side when you divide that out you get $9.68. So that's how much they make in 1 hour. So I was just going to reiterate what I said before. A lot of times when you've got, so we've got an x and we've got a number here equals a number there and a number there. So kind of a quick step is the two numbers across from each other, you're going to multiply those out first, and then when you've done that, then you're going to divide by the 1 across from the x. So that's another way to do it. So in this case, looking back, the 1 and the 329 we multiply, and then we divide by the 34 because it's across from the x, and we get $9.68. Okay, so I hope that will help you so that you can do the mastery check. Oh, here's the worksheet here. So try the worksheet. How many questions do we have altogether? So we've got, looks like 5 questions in there. I'm just going to look at number 5 on the worksheet just to help you out a little bit. This is a time card. So Hayrin maybe works part-time. She gets paid $12.76 per every hour and keeps her own time card, so she keeps track of her hours. On Monday in the morning, in was when she started and out was when she ended. So she didn't work at all on Monday. Tuesday she didn't work in the morning, but in the afternoon worked from 4 to 8. So how many hours is that? So from 4 to 8, so really what you can do is you can subtract that. So that was 4 hours. Because if you think 8 minus 4. In the morning, worked from 9 till 11. So I guess that would be 2 hours, because 11 minus 9 equals 2. And the afternoon didn't work at all. So on Wednesday, 2 hours. On Thursday, 2 hours in the morning. And in the afternoon, from 3 to 5, another 2 hours. So I guess it'd be like 2 hours here, 2 hours there. So 4 hours on Thursday. On Friday, looks like from 3 to 6. So 6 minus 3 is 3. 3 hours. And then on Saturday from 9 to 12. So if I say, 12 minus 9 equals 3. Didn't work in the afternoon, so that's 3 hours. How much so the question is sort of 2 parts. So first of all, you got to figure out how many hours did the person work altogether. So we got to add up those hours. 4 plus 2 plus 4 plus 3 plus 3. So I think that is 16 hours altogether. So I'm doing the first part for you. I actually helped you out a lot. So, and then she makes $12.76 every hour. So then you just do that multiplication. So I'd like you to try for the worksheet, try maybe the odd questions and then check your work using the QR code. And if you have any little trouble, do the even questions afterwards. And really my advice is check your answer every time. So if you do number 1 and then 3 and 5 and then you find you're making the same mistake, it's not so good. But do number 1, check your answers. Again, you can use that using that QR code. And again, if you got any questions, please talk to me. I would be happy to help you. All right. Talk to you later.